Der ist dort hinten, wo also auch das Startsignet aufgebracht ist. Dort sehen Sie den Startbereich, diese beiden Pylone, die hier stehen. Ab dort wird gestartet im Massenstart. Die Aufstellung ist in Pfeilform. Das heißt, die 6 Staffeln stellen sich also in etwa so wie eine Pyramide auf. Vorne einer dann, 2 dahinter und die 4, 5 und 6 dann in Pfeilform hinten drauf. Das ist also die Startformation. Dann geht es raus auf die 2,5 Kilometer und dann geht es hier rein in die sogenannte Wechselzone, die es aber in diesem Fall auch nicht gibt, sondern das ist eigentlich der Zielbereich. Hier wird reingelaufen und wenn der Erste über die Ziellinie geht,
from Finsterau, it's the World Paranordic Skiing Championships here in the Bavarian Forest. My name is Rob Hayes and I will be lending my voice to all of the wonderful pictures from today's relay event. It is one of the most hotly anticipated days on the competition schedule. It's the mixed relay we've got for you first, starting at 10 o'clock, and then the open relay is at 11:30 today. So it's very busy here at the Ski Stadion Finsterau. There's a lot of athletes, a lot of team officials, and plenty of spectators here as well. We've got several local schools and local ski clubs who've been given certainly the morning off to come and witness some world-class action. So here is the lineup for the mixed relay. We've got Ukraine, Norway, Belarus, China, Sweden and Germany. It's 4 legs of a 2.5 kilometer course. That's the Ukrainian team. There's some world champions in there already. Yuri Utkin, Lyudmila Lyashenko, Alexandra Kononova as well, and Betenkova is the experienced multi-medalist, 27 major international medals for her. So they are a very, very strong team indeed. Ukraine, silver medalists at the World Championships 2 years ago. Norway were the Sochi bronze medalists. Trygve Steinar Larsen has been on the podium twice here already. Vilde Nielsen is 16 years of age and will compete over 2 legs for Norway. And Birgit Skarstein in there did very well in the cross-country sprint on day 2 of these championships. Belarus then line up with Dmitry Loban, Svetlana Sakhanenka, who was bronze medalist in the cross-country sprint, Valentina Shits, who reached the semi-finals in that competition, and Mikita Ladzasov, who is just 20 years of age. So a mixed bag for Belarus. China have got Ming Yuan Du, who missed out on the sprint semi-finals by a fraction of a second. Haitao Du missed out on a bronze medal in the cross-country sprint sprint final rather. Grigory Vovchinsky just pipped him to a medal there. So Haitao Du is very quick, and Yu Nan reached the semi-finals of the cross-country sprint in the women's competition. Sweden, the Sochi silver medalists, just 2 of them. They'll do 2 legs each. Helena Ripper, the 45-year-old experienced athlete, and Sebastian Modin, who was the cross-country sprint visually impaired world champion a few days ago. So Sweden will very much be in the hunt for a medal here. And Germany have got a strong team as well. Clara Klug is a 2-time medalist here in Finsterau from down the road in Munich. Stefan Lemke reached the semi-finals of the cross-country sprint. Andrea Eskau has been on the podium twice as well, and they will be anchored by Nico Messinger. So the mixed relay then, if you're unfamiliar with how it works, the combined percentage of each team must be 330% or less. So all of the athletes competing here in Finsterau have a percentage factored to their overall time based on their level of impairment. So the combined percentage of each team must be 330% or less, and it's their usual percentages that they've been using throughout the competition, but then there's a reduction of 18% per leg for female athletes and 12% per leg for sit ski athletes. So, for example, if there was a female sit ski athlete in the team, then that would be 30% minus from that leg. And there must be at least one woman taking part in each team. It's going to be fast and furious and frantic. We will do our best to make sense of it all for you. www.finsterau2017.com is the website if you want to watch live timings there. Lots of news and official results there too. And do join in the conversation on social media. Hashtag Finsterau2017. Follow at Paranordic on Twitter and Facebook. We know many thousands of you have been watching around the world, and no doubt here today you'll be cheering on your own nation, because we are away with the cross-country mixed relay final. Number 1 for Ukraine on the first leg is Yuri Utkin, along with his guide Ruslan Perakoda, and he immediately moves to the front. Utkin, silver in the cross-country sprint and gold in the middle distance biathlon on day 1. He's in supreme form, Yuri Utkin, as they disappear behind the shooting range for the biathlon here at the Ski Stadion Finsterau. You can see it's a little bit breezy, but it's very warm, as it has been for the last couple of days here. Utkin has opened up a large advantage over Belarus's Dmitry Loban, but remember, this will all sort of stagger itself out over the 4 legs, because many of the teams have opted. Oh, and there's a fall there for China's Ming Yuan Du. Just lost control in one of the corners. As I was saying, many of the countries have gone with sit ski athletes on the first leg. There, Belarus and Norway's Trygve Steinar Larsen are very much in the same company. Ming Yuan Du is back upright and back on track. Sweden's Helena Ripper is there wearing 5. She was the 2013 world champion in the cross-country sprint, Helena Ripper, so she's very quick. And there is Clara Klug, very popular here in Finsterau, the 22-year-old. 2 medals already. Bronze in the middle distance biathlon and silver in the long distance biathlon. Her guide, Martin Hartl, you can hear him there. There'll be words of encouragement as well as words of keeping rhythm and tempo and race management. Same conversations will be had between Yuri Utkin and Ruslan Perakoda. If you've not seen visually impaired Paranordic skiing before, the guides have small headset microphones that they speak into, and they can communicate directly with their athlete behind them. Spend a lot of time skiing forwards, but looking over their shoulders, the guides. It's a very specialized role. There are team officials and coaches positioned at various parts of the course as well. So as I say, 2.5 kilometers for each leg. Ukraine's Yuri Utkin is the first of 4 athletes. Ukraine putting 4 athletes in, Lyashenko, Botenkova and Kononova to come. So 3 women left for Ukraine. As Helena Ripper of Sweden has now gone past China's Ming Yuan Du. And still in close company, Dmitry Loban of Belarus wearing 3, and Trygve Steinar Larsen of Norway wearing 2. Just pops out from behind his slipstream where he's been travelling for the last kilometre or so, Trygve Steinar Larsen. Clara Klug trying to maintain the tempo for Germany. It's a very fast tempo being set by Yuri Utkin of Ukraine. in almost perfect synchronicity with his guide Ruslan Pericoda. Those two have proven that they work very well together. Just 1.2 seconds off of bronze in the long distance biathlon yesterday as well. Martin Hartl getting louder and louder. I'm sure that will signal to Clara Klug to get faster and faster. She was fabulous in the long distance biathlon yesterday. So Yuri Utkin is going round very quickly indeed. He's got a 99% factoring, Yuri Utkin, so he's got one of the lowest levels of impairment in this mixed relay. That's Mingyuan Du of China, but the way that Ukraine have structured their team means that they can have Utkin at 99%, but then the subsequent percentage subtractions for having 3 women in the team brings them in at 327%, just 3% under the maximum allowed combined percentage of 330%. So Yuri Utkin comes into the finishing straight then in a very quick time, 2.5 kilometers in about 5.5 minutes. He crosses the line for the first exchange. The first exchange will happen just behind the barrier that you see in at the top of your picture there. And next to go for Ukraine is Lyudmila Lyashenko, a 2-time world champion here in Finsterau already. These two haven't left each other's side throughout, Trygve Steinar Larsen and Dmitry Loban. Here now is Lyudmila Lyashenko, 23 years of age. Ukraine were the silver medalists at the World Championships 2 years ago, so we'd expect them to be strong. Lyashenko was in that team alongside Kononova, who anchors Ukraine on this occasion. Dmitry Loban has just about been in front of Trygve Steinar Larsen the whole way, and that will be how they cross the line. So Belarus in second, with Loban handing over to Svetlana Sakonenka, and Trygve Steinar Larsen crosses the line for Norway, and 16-year-old Vilde Nielsen goes next for the World Championship bronze medalists 2 years ago. It's an entirely new team for Norway, though. Next to make the exchange is China. Mingyuan Du will hand over to Hai Tao Du. And then Helena Ripper crosses the line. Sebastian Modin, the visually impaired men's sprint gold medalist, will go next for Sweden. So this is Hai Tao Du, desperately close to a bronze medal in the sprint on day 2. Sebastian Modin, a world champion at the age of 22. Sweden were 4th in the mixed relay in 2013. And they were silver medalists in Sochi. Just the pair of them doing 2 legs each. And coming in now to the home straight is the home favourite, Clara Klug. A couple of horns going off as well for Clara Klug, who digs deep to make sure that this exchange happens as quickly as possible. She's over the line, and off goes Stefan Lemke. He had the first involvement of any athlete here at these World Championships in swearing the athlete's oath on the opening ceremony. 28 years of age, only made his debut on the World Cup scene here in Finsterau last year. So it's relatively new to him to be competing amongst this kind of company. He'll be hoping to make up some ground as Germany go around in 6th position after the first leg. So this is Lyudmila Lyashenko. We pick up Lemke again. Made the semi-finals of the cross-country sprint. Stefan Lemke. Hai Tao Du of China, and then in the background there, here comes Sebastian Modin. Already into his 7th season on the world stage, and he is only 22. Svetlana Sakhanenko of Belarus, guided by Irina Nafranovic, bronze medalist in the cross-country sprint, Sakhanenko, so she is quick. Oh, she'd love to add another medal to her tally at her first major championships. Lyudmila Lyashenko has been phenomenal so far. She's leading the race for Ukraine. Vilde Nilsson, aged 16. Did very, very well to reach the cross-country final. Here, through comes Hai Tao Du, and then Sebastian Modin, guided as ever by Johannes Andersen, just to have a good friendship as well as a good professional and sporting relationship too. Sakhanenko working hard for Belarus. They're going well. They're in 2nd place. It was a good first leg from Dmitry Loban, the experienced sitting athlete. I think Sakhanenko has shaken off Vilde Nilsson. Vilde Nilsson is now being overtaken by Hai Tao Du of China. No doubt who's out in front. Lyudmila Lyashenko. Stefan Lemke maintaining his rhythm, maintaining his tempo, just negotiating the turn before making the climb. This woman is frighteningly quick. She's really come into her own at these World Championships in Finsterau. Lyudmila Lyashenko stepped out from the shadows of her compatriot Alexandra Kononova. But today, and maybe today alone, they compete for the same team. They are not going head-to-head. Although I think they'd like to set quicker split times and have a little personal competition between each other. Sakhanenko still going strongly for Belarus. But we're coming into the home straight for Lyudmila Lyashenko, and Ukraine are already making the 2nd exchange. And the 3rd leg will be taken up by Yulia Botenkova. 27 major international medals, Yulia Botenkova. 33 years old, been just outside the medals in a couple of disciplines here in Finsterau so far. Got silver in the mixed relay at the World Championships in 2013, 4th in Sochi in 2014. Coming through next, Svetlana Sakhanenko of Belarus. A good 2nd leg for her. She's opened up some distance between Belarus and Norway in 3rd, and Sakhanenko's job is done. Valentina Schitz takes it up for Belarus. Reached the semi-finals of the cross-country sprint, Schitz. Been a good leg for Sebastian Modin of Sweden. Helena Ripper, who went out first in the first leg for Sweden, now takes on the 3rd. Sebastian Modin will have 5 or 10 minutes to get a breather before he takes on his next leg. So here come Norway and Vilde Nilsson. She'll go again on the anchor leg, Vilde Nilsson. But for now, for Norway, it's Birgit Skarstein. Reached the final of the cross-country sprint on day 2. First time she's competed in a relay on the major international stage. Competed at Rio Paralympics in the summer in single sculls rowing, and she is the 2014 world champion in that discipline. Stefan Lemke of Germany has perhaps made up some ground for the home nation. His changeover, we'll see Andrea Eskau go next. 45 years of age, vastly experienced and very well liked. Bronze in the middle distance biathlon on day 1, silver in the cross-country sprint on day 2. Off she goes. Good encouragement from all of the school children that have been brought up and bussed up in their droves to Finsterau today. It's Birgit Skarstein wearing 2 for Norway, and on this leg for China it's Yu Nan, making her major championships debut at the age of 29. So there is Sweden's Helena Ripper. Sweden have moved ahead of Belarus now. That's Valentina Schitz going for them, wearing 3. Eskau with the familiar red bobble hat and the white shades. Birgit Skarstein there for Norway. 28 years of age and has already proved here in Finsterau that she's very quick. Yu Nan did reach the semi-finals in the cross-country sprint. Just very focused picture on her face, Yu Nan. Valentina Schitz has been through the hard work of the climbs on this 2.5 kilometer sit ski course, and she is now cruising down the tracks. So after cruising for 30 seconds or so, it's back to the grind, and those arms will be starting to hurt. The lungs will be starting to burn, because it is 2.5 kilometers, but it's pretty much all out for the entire duration. So that's Botenkova of Ukraine, and this is Helena Ripper of Sweden. 45 years of age. She struggled in the sprint, surprisingly. She was right at the bottom of the time trial qualification. So she's maybe got a point to prove here. And digging deep is Birgit Skarstein. It's tough work on some of the inclines. The sit ski is taking a slightly different route to the standing athletes. Yulia Botenkova was afforded a considerable head start by Yuri Utkin and Lyashenko, and it's Ukraine that are well out in front. Second at the split were Belarus. This is Valentina Schitz. And there goes Botenkova being urged on by the coach. Good pace from Botenkova. Knew that she couldn't rest on her laurels, although she was given the perfect advantage by her 2 teammates before her. Andrea Eskau of Germany is still digging very deep. past the 19-minute mark now of this mixed relay here in the World Paranordic Skiing Championships. Patenkova is going through the final few hundred meters of her lap. It's tough work for Helena Ripper. She will have to cover 5 kilometers in this relay, having gone out first for Sweden. Sebastian Modin did the second leg. But now into the home straight comes Yulia Patenkova, and Ukraine will make their final exchange to Alexandra Kononova. There she goes. 6-time world champion 2 years ago in cable. Has had a couple of her world titles stolen from her. Now she competes for team glory rather than individual success. Helena Ripper coming in for the exchange. Sebastian Modin will go again. So it's a team of just 2 athletes for Sweden, but it was a combination that got silver in Sochi. Right out in front are Ukraine, as they have been from the very beginning. They were led off very strongly by Yuryukin. Lyashenko and Patenkova did their jobs as well, and Kononova has the task of bringing Ukraine home. Germany still on their third leg with Andrea Eskau. Eskau was part of the team that finished 5th at the World Championship Mixed Relay in cable. Coming in next to make their final exchange are Norway. Birgit Skarstein will pass the mantle back over to Vilde Nielsen, and the 16-year-old will be tasked with another 2.5 kilometers to try and bring Norway in with a shout of a medal. Belarus next. Valentina Shits passes it on to Mikita Ladjasov, 20-year-old Major Championships debutant. There he goes. Belarus in 4th place currently. Here comes Andrea Eskau. The cheering gets louder from the school children here in Finsterau, and plenty of members of the local community out to watch the excitement of the relay again. Nico Messinger will anchor Germany. Had a mixed bag so far, didn't finish the middle distance biathlon on day 1. Was 10th fastest in qualifying for the cross-country sprint, which was not quite enough to reach the semi-finals. So at the final changeover, it was Ukraine from Sweden, from Norway, from Belarus, from Germany, from China. Sebastian Modin. But out in front with fresh air and nobody anywhere near her, Alexandra Kononova. Ukraine were the silver medalists behind Russia in this mixed relay at the World Championships 2 years ago. They're top of the medal table here in Finsterau so far, and they have got a full team packed full of world-class athletes. China are on their final leg. Haitao Du will have to do another 2.5 kilometers after going second for China too. Another man on his second leg of this relay is Sebastian Modin of Sweden. And guide Johannes Andersson. Sweden currently in second, but about 45 seconds down the road from Ukraine, who are being brought home in style by Alexandra Konanova. Norway occupy the bronze medal place currently. Fielder Nielsen for them on the anchor, just 16 years of age. Konanova is very quick indeed, and she had such a huge advantage, it's hard to see her losing it now. Nico Messinger for Germany, who I think are too far behind to get themselves in contention for a medal. Belarus are being anchored by Mikita Ladzasov. The final exchange, they were fourth behind Norway. And at the final exchange, China were 6th of 6th. It's Haitao Du did his first 2.5 kilometers in 6:38.9. But it was a fairly easy task awarded to Alexandra Konanova. Belarus have gone well throughout this relay. Loban, Sakanenka and Schitz on the first 3 legs. Konanova is looking over her shoulder thinking, where is everybody? They are nowhere near you, Alexandra Konanova. And Haitao Du is looking forward and trying to find somebody. China have been a little off the pace in this mixed relay. So the last 2 races that Konanova has taken part in individually, she's seen her world title disappear in front of her eyes. But now it seems unlikely that this one will escape her grasp. And here comes Alexandra Konanova. They led from pretty much the very first couple of meters, Ukraine. And Alexandra Konanova crosses the line, a big smile on her face. Ukraine are the mixed relay world champions. It was an immaculate performance from the Ukrainian team. Silver medalists, as they were in Sochi in 2014. And a big celebration for Sweden's Sebastian Modin. He and Helena Ripper did 2 legs each. And Modin and Ripper get silver for Sweden. It's going to be Belarus maybe who come through in bronze medal position. Mikita Ladzasov must have gone past Fielder Nielsen out on the course. But a long way behind. Sebastian Modin did really well on that last leg to get closer and closer to Konanova. I don't think he was ever going to catch her, but here comes Mikita Ladzasov then. 20 years of age, major championships debut, and it is bronze for Belarus. Really, really solid performance from the Belarusian Paranordic skiing team. I think that's Ladzasov's guide, Alexei Lukyanov. Ladzasov left him behind. Coming through next, Nico Messinger of Germany. Germany were 6th after the first and second exchanges. And now to cross the line, a really tough last leg for 16-year-old Vilde Nielsen. Norway were in bronze medal position after the first and third changeovers, but Vilde Nielsen was caught by a couple of athletes and crosses the line fifth for Norway. And bringing it home for China, who were in fourth up until the halfway point of this relay. Hai Tao Du, 24-year-old, does cross the line to complete this mixed relay. So it was pretty straightforward in the end for Ukraine. Their imperious quartet of Yuri Utkin, Lyudmila Lyashenko, Yulia Betenkova and Alexandra Kononova raced the perfect race. It was really strong stuff from Sweden, as we expected, with them knowing what it takes to medal at major championships, having done so in Sochi in 2014. These two individuals, Helena Ripper and Sebastian Modin, and his guide Johannes Andersson, a very strong silver for Sweden. And it was bronze for Belarus. Dmitry Loban, Svetlana Sakonenko, Valentina Shits and Mikita Latsasov with a very competent performance indeed. So Ukraine are the mixed relay cross-country world champions. We'll have the flower ceremonies to bring for you shortly on the live stream. And then at around 11:30 this morning, we'll have more relay action in the shape of the open relay. So do stay with us, and confirmation of all the results and all the split times, etc., if you're that way inclined, on the website www.finsterau2017.com.
Mittlerweile haben wir hier das inoffizielle Ergebnis. Die Laufzeit der Ukraine 26 Minuten 56,5. Ukraine also damit deutlich vorne, 21 Sekunden vor Schweden. Schweden hat also nochmal richtig Zeit gut gemacht am Schluss. 21 Sekunden dahinter auf der zweiten Position. Weißrussland auf Platz Nummer 3. 1,15 Rückstand auf die Ukraine. Deutschland hat sich noch um einen Platz verbessert, auf Platz 4. Von Westen hat die Zeit Zeit gut gemacht. 1,52 für die Ukraine. 5. Norwegen. Die sind noch von Deutschland überholt worden auf der letzten Runde, und die Chinesen auf Platz Nummer 6.
Hallo? Hä, warum ist das mein Mikrofon? Hallo? Herr Paul, Sie haben Sie drei. Hallo, aber wir alle up wieder. Ich habe ein Mikrofon. Ja. Herr Markus, schau mal her. Hallo, la.
Seite. Schnell auf, oder? Haben Sie den Schießen raus, schon haben Sie übernommen.
Na, du musst gib mal den. Na, brauchst nicht. Monster is so bad. Hey, Lukas, schau mal her. Monster, yeah, 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 yeah.
Ja, maar perfect. Hier sind wir bei Pizza.
Biathlon und Skilanglauf und unterstützen durch Karlsbach gemeinsam Lehrstellen.
Ja, bitte!
Mario. Mario. Rijden via gewoon een grote
World Nordic Ski Championships 2017. Biathlon und Skilanglauf. Unterstützt durch Heide, Fenster und Türen vom Profi.
Ladies and Gentlemen, meine Damen und Herren, langsam aber sicher bitte bereit halten für die erste blaue Zeremonie. Jetzt geht es um die Mixed Relay, die wir als erstes durchgeführt haben. Die Zuschauer langsam dort oben einbinden, dort wo wir die Präsentation durchführen. Und please get ready, the first three nations together with the guides, the team from the Ukraine, the team from Sweden and the relay from Belarus. Please get ready and come to us for the flower ceremony. This is the opening, this is PyeongChang, Miss Martinkova, this is Kononova from Ukraine. This is Rupa, and this is the podium for Sweden. And finally, Luban, Shakanika, Schütz, and Manchesau for the Belarus team. The flower ceremony will start in about 5 minutes.
World Paralympic Ski Championships 2017, Biathlon und Skilanglauf. Unterstützt durch Ihr Partner Vakuum-Messtechnik.
Finsterau, it's time shortly for the flower ceremonies for the first of two relays that happen here today at the World Paranordic Skiing Championships. It was the mixed cross-country relay, and it was very much enjoyed by the many hundreds of school children that are here on a school trip today in the Bavarian forest and the wonderful facility here that is the Ski Stadion Finsterau. They enjoyed a fabulous race and a dominant display by Ukraine. Silver for Sweden and bronze for Belarus. Still got more relay action to come for you on this live stream today. At 11:30 Central European time, we'll have the open relay. And that could be fun. We have 8 countries represented in the open relay in about half an hour's time. It's another beautiful day in Finsterau. We're up to the dizzy heights of about 6 or 7 degrees Celsius, which is warm for this time of year. Although you still probably need your hat, or at least that's what your teacher will have told you. I even managed to see some grass on my journey into the venue this morning, which I'm told is a rare sight at this time of year. Maybe spring has come early, or maybe they're just treating us to some nice mild weather. Don't get me wrong, it's still fairly chilly in the shade, but when you're out there basking in the sunshine, it is pretty warm. As ever, the Bavarian forest there in the background is a wonderful backdrop for what have been a fabulous World Championships so far. We've still got a lot more action to come. We're running all the way through until the 19th of February here in Finsterau. If you want to know the schedule, etc., www.finsterau2017.com. You can see exactly what is still to come. Very busy for the flower ceremony today. There are up to 4 athletes per team, as well as some guides. So this has been a bit tricky logistically for our events team here, who work tirelessly behind the scenes, most of them from within the local community, lending their time, lending their expertise. And many of them lending their homes to athletes, officials. Really is a completely joint effort from everybody in the Mount Finsterau region and in the wider municipality of Frauengrafenau. But I think we've just about piled everybody on there. At first glance, there's nobody missing. So it is time for the flower ceremony. Interestingly, no flowers to be given out, just the mascot of these World Paranordic Skiing Championships, Filu the Lynx. If you haven't yet met Filu, it's exceptionally cute. Talking of cute, there's one of our younger spectators in the crowd. So as I say, Filu the mascot is a lynx, the name derived from FI, the first 2 letters of Finsterau, the village in which we are competing. and Lu, first two letters of the German word Lux, which stands for lynx.
Ladies and gentlemen,
as there are some wild lynx living in the Bavarian forest, so I'm told. So here are all of our medalists. They'll get their medals later on this evening in the victory ceremony, which we will of course bring you on this live stream. You don't miss a trick from Finsterau. So the bronze medalists, and a very solid display indeed from Belarus. Their team: Dmitry Loban, Svetlana Sakanenka and her guide Irina Nafranovic, Valentina Shitz and Mikita Ladtasov with his guide Alexei Lukyanov. There they are, being given Filu, the lynx. Still haven't got myself one of those yet. I will certainly be doing so before these championships are over. All of the mascots have been given out. And the bronze medalists are looking pretty pleased with that. The team from Belarus. A fair fewer number in the Swedish team. Both of the athletes in the Swedish team skied twice, Helena Ripper and Sebastian Modin, alongside his guide Johannes Andersson. And they repeated the feat that they achieved at the Sochi Paralympic Winter Games in 2014 with a silver medal. No doubting, though, the dominance of this nation at these World Championships. Ukraine are top of the medal table, and that, of course, affords them the opportunity to put in many a world-class athlete and many a world champion into their team. Ukraine consisting of Yuri Utkin and his guide Ruslan Parakoda, Lyudmila Lyashenko, Yulia Batenkova and Alexandra Kononova. They were silver medalists behind Russia in Cable 2 years ago in the cross-country mixed relay. But they are very much gold medalists and world champions here. Yuri Utkin led them out on the first leg and was in front within the first 10 metres. And Ukraine never looked back and never had to look back. Now they're being asked to squash it even tighter together to get the official photograph. I'm not really sure that's possible. Real team effort here, and it's nice to have that different element to the competition. Many of these athletes going head-to-head against their compatriots in their various disciplines. They came together today, and Ukraine came together to devastating effect. They are the world champions in the cross-country mixed relay, silver for Sweden and bronze for Belarus. We do have another relay coming up for you in the not too distant future here on this live stream. In just over 20 minutes time, it will be the cross-country open relay. Do join us for that just before 11:30 Central European time.
Ladies and gentlemen, meine Damen und Herren, gleich geht es bitte weiter zu dem nächsten Rennen. 35 die Startzeit, Mr. Starting Time. 11:13 for the open relay. Please get ready. So we will start the line. The competitors from Canada, from the Belarusian team, from Ukraine, Kazakhstan, France, Poland, China, and Norway. Wir haben jetzt die Staffel vor der Brust, die Open-Relay. Mit der Startnummer 11 wird das Team aus Kanada bis zur Rennen hineingehen. Mit dem Startläufer Brian McKeever, auch wieder aus der P1-Kategorie. Mit einem Guide unterwegs mit Graham Nishikawa. Das ist der Startläufer für Kanada. Weißrussland oder Belarus. Juri Holz ist der Startläufer bei Weißrussland. Together with the guide Dmitry Bushilovic. Die Startnummer 13, die Ukraine, die auch hier bei der Open Relay natürlich top favorisiert ist. Die Ukraine Startläufer Dmitry Suryakov mit dem Guide Vasil Potanenko. Dann die Startnummer 14, die Mannschaft aus Kasachstan, Alexander Kolyani ist der Startläufer. Frankreich, die französische Staffel mit der Nummer 15, wird angelaufen von Benjamin Davier. Der wird also zweimal durch die Strecke hineingehen, läuft auf Position 1 und auf Position Nummer 3. Dann die Mannschaft aus Polen, Starting Number 16, durch Team von Holland, Polen also 16 unterwegs, Startläufer Kamil Rosiek. Die Chinesen mit Xiaoming Gao als Startläufer, China mit der Nummer 17 und Norwegen mit Nils Erik Østen als Startläufer, die sind auch zweimal hineingehen, die Strecke nämlich auf Position 1 und dann auf Position Nummer 3. Auch ist es so, es wird 4 Runden gelaufen, insgesamt 12,5 Kilometer. Bei der Open Relay ist die Besetzung beliebig, man kann sich zusammenstellen, wie der Teamchef es richtig befindet. Man kann also mit Sky, also die Division gerne aufstellen, die Sittings, die Standings, Männlein, Weiblein, wie man will, also durchgemischt. Allerdings ist dieses Mal der Handicap-Faktor wieder eine Division, aber hier maximal 370%. Hier ist es wieder ein Minimalisierungsfaktor, mit dem Prozentsatz des Handicaps maximal 370 in diesem Fall. Startläufer klassisch, weiter dann Freitechnik, drüber wieder Klassik und Vierterläufer wieder Freitechnik. Die neu zugekommen sind, auch hier wieder das Prozedere genau gleich wie vorhin bei der Mixed Relay. Das heißt, der Startbereich dort vorne und hier ist das Zielanlauf mit der roten Linie. Die Wechselzone in dem Fall nicht vorhanden, sondern darüber muss beobachtet werden in den Startbereich, wenn der allgemeine über die Ziellinie läuft. Sozusagen der Wechsel, dann raus und der Folgekörper über die Ziellinie ist dann die Startbereich überschreitet. Dann gibt es hier eine Zeitstrafe. Auch der Schnellste ist dann auch so, dass insbesondere beim Guide hier per Kamera das Ganze natürlich beobachtet wird. Der Guide
A very warm welcome back to Finsterau and the World Paranordic Skiing Championships. Rob Hayes here with you on the live stream as ever, bringing you all the action from the heart of the Bavarian Forest. It's relay time once again. We had the mixed relay first thing this morning, which was won dominantly by Ukraine, and now it's time for the open relay. Slightly different rules for the open relay. In the mixed relay, the combined percentage of the team members was 330% or less. In the open relay, the combined percentage of each team must be 370% or less. And the calculations made based on the percentage of each athlete in relation to the level of their impairment. And then there is a subtraction of 18% per leg of the relay for female athletes and 12% per leg for sit-ski athletes. So the team's made up of a mixture of sitting, standing and visually impaired athletes, which makes for a very interesting competition, let me tell you. So this is how we line up for the open relay. Canada, Belarus, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, France, Poland, China and Norway. So a pretty busy field of 8 nations. Canada go with a multiple world and Paralympic champion Brian McKeever on the first and last legs. Emily Young and a world champion this week already, Mark Aarons, in the middle 2 legs for them. Belarus go with Yuri Holub, Sergei Silchanka, Lydia Rafaeva, who herself is a world champion this week, and Vasily Shapteboy, who won gold in the long distance biathlon yesterday. Vastly experienced to anchor Belarus home. Ukraine, who got gold in the mixed relay, go with Suyarkov, Ovchinsky, Yarovyi and Repchuk. It's a very strong team again from Ukraine. All 4 of the men in that team have medalled at these World Championships. Kazakhstan, Alexander Kolyadin, Alexander Gerlitz and Denis Petrenko are the 3. Gerlitz will go again on the anchor leg for them. The defending champions, France, exactly the same lineup as that won it 2 years ago. Benjamin Davier, Anthony Chalençon and Thomas Clarion. Poland with Kamil Rosiek starting them off. Witold Skupian, who got a superb silver in the cross-country sprint on day 2. He will go twice either side of Lukas Kubica. China, relatively unknown quantity, 2 debutants in there in Chen Yang-Wang and Jun Bao-Wu. Zhao Mingao will go twice on leg 1 and leg 3 for China. And wearing 18 will be Norway. Niels-Erik Ulset will go twice. Hakon Olsrud second for them. And Erik Bier will anchor Norway. That's Team Canada. That is Brian McKeever, 37 years of age. One of the best Paranordic skiers in history. Not competed in any of the individual events here in Finsterau as yet. So this is the first time that we've been able to witness the great Canadian Brian McKeever and his guide Graham Nishikawa. It's going to be very busy out on the course, so it's not all about raw pace, it's also about making sure that you don't get mixed up in any trouble. 8 nations going for gold. Ukraine, you'd have to say, have got to be right up there with the favourites. They were bronze medalists behind Russia in the open relay in Cable 2 years ago. It's Yuri Holub of Belarus reached the semi-finals of the cross-country sprint. His major championships debut at the age of 20, and he is handed the responsibility of leading out his nation. So lots going on in and around the start line here in Finsterau, and away we go. 8 nations vying for gold in the cross-country open relay. Not just 8 athletes, but a handful of guides involved as well. Canada's Brian McKeever and Graham Nishikawa, who've moved to the front alongside number 15, Benjamin Davier of France. His first major individual gold medal in the long distance biathlon yesterday. So it's McKeever from Davier in the early stages as they disappear behind the shooting range here in Finsterau. Just a light breeze. As you can see, the flag's fairly still.
Dann sind sie schon wieder im Stadion. Und ist es auch wieder toll, wenn wir reinkommen. Insbesondere die Sehbehinderung. Da müssen wir hier die Lautstärke komplett rausnehmen.
So important for these athletes to get their nations off to as good a start as they possibly can. So it's Makiva, guided by Nishikawa. In front, Benjamin Davier of France wearing 15 in second. Holub for Belarus is third. And Ukraine currently fourth through Dmytro Suiarko. Coming through there is Niels Erik Ulset of Norway. And then the two sit-ski athletes in the background there, Kamil Rosiek of Poland and Xiaoming Gao of China. So it's as we expected. Brian Makiva in front and starting Canada off on the front foot. Makiva will also anchor the Canadian relay, so he will have about 5 kilometers worth of rest. It's 4 laps of the 2.5 kilometer courses here in Finsterau. Classic technique first, freestyle second, classical third, freestyle fourth. They're working hard for Kazakhstan is Alexandra Kolyadin, pursued by Niels Erik Ulset. These are the leaders, Brian Makiva, then Benjamin Davier, and Yuri Holub of Belarus is doing very well to keep pace with those two. As is Dmitry Suiarko. His major championships debut at the age of 20. Got a bronze medal on day 1 in the middle distance biathlon. So he's looked right at home in this kind of company, Suiarko. Makiva just starting to up the ante and build a bit of a gap. And Davier is trying to go with him. All about handing as much of an advantage as possible to the next athlete. For Canada, it will be Emily Young. For France, it will be Anthony Chalençon. And for Belarus, in third, currently, Sergei Silchanka. Makiva is absolutely flying now. He went around with Davier close by for much of this first leg, but now Makiva has really got the gas going, and showing his quality as still one of the very best in the world at 37 years of age. Xiaoming Gao, China, in the middle of the pack in the cross-country sprint, 18th of the 29 competitors in that. But just look at Brian Makiva now. He's left his guy, Graham Nishikawa, behind and is just absolutely motoring. Look how hard he's working on each and every stroke. Really is a great pleasure to be able to watch Brian Makiva compete. And he has pushed himself well out in front of the field. So quick that his guy Graham Nishikawa has even been left trailing. There are few men quicker in the world than Brian Makiva. In he comes. Nishikawa is back with him, and Brian Makiva will cross the line, and it's Emily Young to take it up next for Canada, who were 4th in the mixed relay at the World Championships 2 years ago. Emily Young did really well to make the final of the cross-country sprint. We've got a good finish there from Belarus, Yuri Holub, and then Suiarko crosses the line straight after him. Holub has handed over to Silchanka for Belarus. There he is, Silchanka, 45 years of age. Made his senior debut 16 years ago. Ukraine's second leg will be raced by Grigory Vovchinsky, 2 times a bronze medalist here in Finsterau already. Niels-Erik Ulset coming in for Norway. He'll pass on the mantle to Hakon Olsrud, and number 14 there of Kazakhstan is Alexander Kolyadin. Alexander Gerlitz will go next for Kazakhstan. So at the first split, it was Canada, France, Belarus, and Ukraine. Kazakhstan and Norway still in the hunt as well. Kamil Rosiek for Poland digs deep to finish as quickly as he can. He'll pass on to Witold Skupian, who was superb in the cross-country sprint. Silver medal in that for the 27-year-old. Poland were 5th in the open relay at the World Championships 2 years ago and 6th in Sochi. At the first split, they're 7th of 8. Here are the 8th place team. China, Xiaoming Gao. Hand over to 15-year-old Chen Yang Wang. He just missed out on qualifying for the semi-finals of the cross-country sprint. Chen Yang Wang was 13th fastest in qualifying. And we missed the earlier changeover for France. They are on their second leg with Anthony Chalençon. Really fascinating, the mass start of the relay. Benjamin Davier had a very good first leg for France. There we have the split times at the first exchange. Canada, France, Belarus, Ukraine. Although Ukraine have got some very strong athletes still to come, as have Canada. This is a stacked field. Side by side are Alexander Gerlitz of Kazakhstan and Hakon Olsrud of Norway. 13 are Ukraine. Grigory Vovchinsky has moved in front of France's Anthony Chalençon. So Ukraine are up into second. That's Belarus now down in 4th place with Sergei Silchanka. Canada there as well through Emily Young. So Belarus actually 4th. So Ukraine are now leading this relay. Grigory Vovchinsky, whose wife Alexandra Kononova brought home the mixed relay team to gold earlier on this morning. It's Witold Skupian of Poland trying to make up some ground. Here's Vovchinsky. Ukraine were the bronze medalists in this open relay 2 years ago. They are always there or thereabouts. Whenever there's a medal up for grabs, Ukraine aren't far away from it. Silchanka, 45 years of age. Working hard. This is Skupian into his 5th year in major international competition. Second leg for China is Chen Yang Wang. There he is, the 15-year-old I mentioned just a few moments ago. China have brought a large cohort of debutants here, maybe with looking forward to PyeongChang and the Winter Paralympic Games next year. Test out the youngsters, give them a taste of what it's like on the big stage. This man knows all about that. 28-year-old Grigory Vovchinsky is the reigning Paralympic champion in the 15-kilometer individual biathlon. He's decent over pretty much any discipline, Wowczynski. And he's moved to the front for Ukraine on the second leg of this open relay. He's put Ukraine in a very good position to take gold in both the mixed and the open relays here. 18 is Norway with Hakon Olsrud, just moving past Alexander Gerlitz of Kazakhstan on the climb. But into the finishing straight comes Grigory Wowczynski. Really good second leg for him. Ukraine lead at the second exchange. And now it's Maxim Yarovyi that takes it up for the dominant nation at these World Championships so far. Yarovyi has contributed a gold to their cause in the cross-country seated sprint. Anthony Chalençon comes through for France. And next to go will be Benjamin Davier again, the man who led out the French team. Will go for his second leg. So France in second, thanks to Chalençon. Third are Belarus, and it's Lidzia Rafaeva who goes for them. Fourth and fifth, Norway and Kazakhstan. For Kazakhstan next, it's Denis Petrenko. And now Canada coming in. They led at the first split after Brian McKeever's opening leg. Emily Young has done a solid job for them. And away goes Mark Ahrens, who has won a world title here in Finsterau already in the middle distance biathlon. He was the silver medalist over the longer distance as well. He is having a super competition, Mark Ahrens. In now come Poland. Witold Skupian will be succeeded by Lukas Kubica and his guide Wojciech Sukwalko. Kubica found it very tough going in the cross-country sprint on day two. It's his major championships debut. The 27-year-old was the slowest of all of the time trialists in that cross-country sprint. So Poland down the field, and it would take a spectacular performance from Kubica. And there we see, just in the background there at the start of this third leg, trouble for Denis Petrenko of Kazakhstan. Just got his sit ski dug a bit too deep into the snow and it unbalanced him. So after exchange number two, Ukraine are the leaders. France in second, Belarus in position for bronze as it stands. Then Norway, Kazakhstan, Canada and Poland. And China will be out there somewhere as well. Don't think China have come through to make their second exchange yet. There's Mark Ahrens of Canada, wearing 11. Denis Petrenko has recovered for Kazakhstan after being thrown sideways earlier on as he struggled in one of the tighter of the turns here in Finsterau. In front of them is Lidzia Rafaeva, the world champion for this year in the middle distance biathlon. Here come China. Their second leg completed by 15-year-old Chen Yang Wang. And the man who led out the Chinese team, Zhao Minggao, will go again on the third leg. First time he's competed at a major championships in Para-Nordic skiing. He was fourth in the World Paracycling Road Championships in 2007. So he's a good competitor, is Gao. But another one of the Chinese team who is experiencing this level of Para-Nordic skiing competition for the very first time. It's experience that will stand them in good stead going forward. That's Nils-Erik Ulset on his second leg, Norway's third leg. And 13 for Ukraine is Maxim Yurovyi.
30 Sekunden dahinter auf 3, die Norweger weitere 10 Sekunden dahinter auf 4 und Kasachstan.
Benjamin Davier is on the third leg for France, having led them out very well.
Ukraine vorne, Frankreich 2, Weißrussland 3, Norwegen 4 und
And I'd imagine that if Nils-Erik Ulset has just moved past Maxim Yurovyi of Ukraine, then that would mean that Benjamin Davier will have as well. Mark Aarons of Canada, who have gone past Belarus and past Kazakhstan. So Aarons of Canada has got his nation back up into medal contention.
letzter Platz, also vorne, die Top 3 aktuell Ukraine, Frankreich und Weißrussland. Jetzt wieder ein bisschen Pause, wir sind wieder mit dem Kleid unterwegs.
There is Benjamin Davier, who came to these World Championships seeking a first major individual gold medal after tasting success with the French team, who are the defending champions 2 years ago. Lukas Kubica of Poland, who last but won at the third exchange. There is Benjamin Davier. I know he's been very much focused on individual gold, but he will always have had the defence of this team world title in the back of his mind as well. And now he's achieved the individual feat. He has put France in a very strong position to try and defend their world title. Benjamin Davier will cross the line first, and France will start the final leg first through Thomas Clarion. The 34-year-old tasked with bringing France home, and Davier has given them an almighty advantage. The commentary box is staring right down the finishing straight here, and there is not another athlete yet in sight. So France are well out in front. Is it enough of an advantage for Thomas Clarion? Still not had any of the other teams come through. So that was really a phenomenal third leg from Benjamin Davier. Here we go then in second, Nils-Erik Ulset of Norway. So Norway will start the final leg in second place, and it's 21-year-old Erik Bie, guided by Arvid Nelson. Been performing pretty well in the World Cup scene this season, Erik Bie, just outside the podium in the sprint cross-country competitions in Ukraine and Finland. The 2 World Cup meets so far. So France 1, Norway 2. That's Poland's third athlete, Lukas Kubica. And there's a lot of clean air between France and Norway, and then between Norway and third place, which at the final change will just about be Mark Aarons, I think, but Maxim Yurovyi of Ukraine is also there. So Ukraine and Canada will go together. It's Igor Repchuk versus Brian McKeever. And that looks to be the battle for bronze. Also finishing now to pass on to their final leg are Lidia Rafayeva of Belarus and Lukas Kubica of Poland. Rafayeva will pass it on to Vasily Shatsaboy. Gold in the long-distance biathlon yesterday for Poland. Witold Skupian will go again, the man who raced the second leg, the silver medalist in the cross-country sprint. Now Kazakhstan are on their final leg. Alexander Gerlitz will go again, having also completed the second leg for Kazakhstan. So at the final exchange, it's France, Norway, and then Ukraine and Canada. Not a lot to choose between them. And Belarus, Poland, Kazakhstan. China's still on their third leg at the moment. there you have it. Ukraine 18 seconds in front of France, who themselves are about 13 seconds in front of Belarus. And then just 0.4 seconds between Ukraine and Canada. So it's Thomas Clarion being urged on by his guide, Antoine Bollet. Norway's Erik Bie is trying to close the gap. That's the athlete on the third leg for China, Zhao Minggao. Here again is Erik Bie. He's guided by Arvid Nelson. Be good for Norway to beat teams such as Ukraine and Canada. If Erik Bie can produce a good last leg. But Thomas Clarion was handed the advantage by Benjamin Davier's brilliance. Vasily Shaptyaboy trying to regain some ground for Belarus. That's Ihor Reptyuk of Ukraine, and at the top of the hill there is Brian McKeever. So Canada are up into bronze medal position. It was Ukraine and Canada that were 0.4 seconds apart at the final changeover. Brian McKeever has gone past the Ukraine's Ihor Reptyuk. So it's France, Norway, Canada. China's Zhao Minggao is still on their third leg as he now comes into the home straight. So China have still got another 2.5 kilometers to complete in this relay. And that task will be assigned to Jun Bao Wu. Reached the semi-finals of the cross-country sprint. Jun Bao Wu, 20 years of age. Another debutant on the major international stage. But here is Thomas Clarion of the defending world champions France. We're in silver medal position after the first two exchanges, but as Benjamin Davier handed it over to Thomas Clarion, they were in pole position and well ahead of their nearest rivals, Norway. And around they come then into the final straight. He knew what job he had to do, Thomas Clarion, and his guide Antoine Bollet has got the French tricolore in his right hand. France defend their world title in supreme style. Benjamin Davier, Anthony Chalençon and Thomas Clarion, big hugs on the finish line here in Finsterau. France have back-to-back open relay titles. Silver for Norway. Erik Bie crosses the line for them. Niels Erik Olseth, Hakon Olsrud and Erik Bie, they celebrate. That's a fantastic achievement for them. Silver for Norway. And at last glance across the course, Canada and Brian McKeever were ahead of Ukraine's Ihor Reptyuk. Unless Ihor Reptyuk has found anything spectacular, which he hasn't, because Brian McKeever comes into the home straight alone and slows it up to glide over the line with his guy Graham Nishikawa. It's bronze for Canada. Brian McKeever, Emily Young and Mark Aarons are bronze medalists. It always helps when you've got such a great as Brian McKeever. He was too good for Ihor Reptyuk. They set off very close together, but Reptyuk just couldn't handle the pace of McKeever, and Ukraine crossed the line in 4th place in this open relay. This is Vasily Shaptsyboy of Belarus, who will be next to come through. It'll be 5th place for Shaptsyboy. Another solid relay for Belarus, who got bronze in the mixed relay earlier this morning. That's Alexander Gerlitz of Kazakhstan, who will be next to come in. There he is, Gerlitz, the 27-year-old, Major Championships debut. A good last leg for him. He comes in ahead of Witold Skupjan. Very good last leg for Alexander Gerlitz. Skupjan is very quick. He crosses the line at pedestrian pace there for 7th for Poland. But there is absolutely no doubt as to who the world champions are. They were 2nd at the halfway stage, France. But then Benjamin Davier went on the 3rd leg, got them in front, and Thomas Clarion kept them in front on the anchor. This is the moment that they cross the line, the pairing of Thomas Clarion and his guide Antoine Bollet, and to be greeted by Benjamin Davier and Anthony Chalençon, his guide Simon Valverde. A real team effort for France. And they have defended their world title. Still a bit of skiing to go today in this open relay. China's Jun Baowu is out there all on his own. But I think with the youth and the lack of experience amongst many of the Chinese team, this will be mainly used by them as a way of gifting major championship experience to some of their younger and more promising athletes. Maybe use this as a stepping stone for the Winter Paralympic Games in PyeongChang next year. There's the Canadian team. Bit of an up and down relay for them. Brian McKeever led them over the line in 1st after the first exchange. Then after Emily Young's leg, they were down in 6th. Mark Aarons got them back up to 4th. And then Brian McKeever made sure that he got himself ahead of Ihor Repchuk of Ukraine to get Canada on the podium.
China immer noch auf der Strecke, also die Position 8 ist noch unterwegs. Warten wir noch einen Augenblick.
Getting close to the half-hour mark now for China. The winning time was 23:55.9 for France. Jun Baowu still digging deep.
Donnerstag hier in Finsterau. Das ist der Wettkampftag. Freitag ist dann Trainingstag. Samstag und Sonntag dann das große Finale mit dem letzten Wettbewerb jeweils ab 10 Uhr.
He'll benefit from this, Jun Baowu, especially from reaching the semi-finals of the cross-country sprint on day 2. Can never hurt to mix it with the best and see how he gets on, and also learn from what they do both on and off the course. It's a fairly long championships here in Finsterau, running all the way through until the 19th of February. Here he comes into the finish line then. Still a warm round of applause from the spectators here in Finsterau. Jun Baowu, just over half an hour for China. That was a fairly lonely leg for him. He completed it with the consummate professionalism. He gets himself a hard-earned drink. So that completes this cross-country open relay. It was a mass start. There were 8 nations involved and many of them vying for medals. You could probably have picked 3 from 5 or 6 nations, depending on how the race would pan out. But there, Brian McKeever moved Canada to the front early doors. Belarus were up there to begin with through Yuri Holub. That was Grigory Vovchinsky going second for Ukraine. And he actually had them in pole position at that stage. This is the little fall that was experienced by Denis Petrenko of Kazakhstan. And it was a really, really good display from Norway. Eric Beer led them across the line for an excellent silver medal. So there is official confirmation of the results of this cross-country open relay. France successfully defend their world title. Norway, a very good silver indeed for them. And then Canada rounding off the medal positions with an excellent last leg from their stalwart Brian McKeever. We'll have the flower ceremony shortly for you on this live stream. All of the official results you see on your screen there and all of the split times if you're interested in that kind of thing on the website, www.finsterau2017.com. See you in a few moments for the flower ceremony from the open relay.
Dünnen zu dünnen ganz nah aneinander stellen. Schlagkraft.
Ja, aber doch nicht voreinander.
Nee, zurück. Ja, da raus. Gut. Alex. Warum? Was da hinten ist, wo er hier steht. Da, und alles.
World Nordic Skiing Championships 2017, Biathlon und Skilanglauf, unterstützt durch Klaus Tabbert, Berlin.
We're going to start the flower ceremony in a few minutes. Please get ready, the winning nations, Canada, Norway and France. Mr. McKeever, Ms. Young, Mr. Ahrens from Canada, Then from Norway, Mr. Osset, Mr. Ossoit, and Mr. Bai, and l'équipe de la France, Monsieur Damier, Monsieur Chanson et Monsieur Clarion. In wenigen Minuten gleich hier die Flower Ceremony.
Komm, wir gehen jetzt was essen.
Back to Finsterau, another fabulous day here in the heart of the Bavarian forest. The warmest we've had yet, up to about 7 degrees Celsius. Again, not a cloud in the sky. It's been perfect for these World Paranordic Skiing Championships. And we've got the flower ceremony to bring you very shortly from the open relay that was contested earlier on. Today started at about 11:30. It was a really good competition this, a lot of chopping and changing, as can be the case with the relays and the different athletes of different classifications on different legs. It's what makes the relay such an exciting part of the competition schedule. A lot of people here in Finsterau, as ever, watching the action. And they've stuck around to celebrate with the athletes. Some much younger supporters as well. We did have some schools visit this morning for the racing. They've just departed in their droves on their coaches. But still plenty of local inhabitants around as well. It was a really, really good display by the Norwegian team to get silver in this race. There they are. Niels Erik Olseth, Håkon Olsrud and Erik Bier. And the French tricolore was flying high as Thomas Clarion and his guide Antoine Bollet crossed the line first. And there it was on the cheeks of some of our spectators. It was all a bit chaotic in this current shot that we're showing you a bit earlier with all of the relay starters and the exchanges. And now we're going to pile 3 relay teams into the area for the flower ceremony. And they'll all be presented with the official mascot of the World Paranordic Skiing Championships 2017, Filu the Lynx. So on the left there, Norway are ready and waiting. And on the right, bronze medalists Canada are waiting. And now in come the French team. The winners, back-to-back world titles in the open relay for Team France. The same 3 men in the team 2 years ago in Cable, USA. Came here with a title to defend and did so like the champions that they are.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the flower ceremony for cross-country skiing. Open, relay, and please welcome our medalists.
So these are the medalists then from the cross-country open relay. Bronze for Canada, silver for Norway, gold for France.
The district administrator of Brown. Now the bronze medalists representing Canada.
So bronze medalists Canada, they're in the black hat with the rugged beard, Brian McKeever, 37 years of age. One of the best Paranordic skiers of all time. He raced the first and the last legs for Canada and got them ahead of Ukraine on the final leg to make sure that they were in this flower ceremony. Emily Young went second for Canada and third Mark Ahrens, who's got a gold and a silver already at these championships. Silver for Norway. Niels Erik Olseth raced 2 legs for them, the bronze medalist in the long distance biathlon on day 1. Håkon Olsrud in there, and Erik Bier brought them home in second place. Delighted with that display, Norway. A real team performance. But no doubting the winners. It is the trio from France. They were in second place after the first 2 exchanges, but then Benjamin Davier pulled out of the bag a terrific third leg to put Thomas Clarion out in front, and he stayed in front. The man there on the left wearing with a little yellow number 4 next to his number 15. Anthony Chalençon was the second leg. 2 guides for France as well, Simon Valverde and Antoine Bollet. Superb from France, and it's back-to-back world open relay titles for Benjamin Davier, Anthony Chalençon and Thomas Clarion. So they've all been presented with Filu, the little mascot of the World Paranordic Skiing Championships. They'll get their medals later on this evening, and of course you can watch that victory ceremony live on this stream at www.finsterau2017.com. If you like what you've seen today, get in contact with us using the hashtag Finsterau2017. Lots going on social media at Paranordic on Facebook and Twitter. So we'll see you again at about 6 o'clock Central European time for the victory ceremonies for the two relays that we've had today. It's been another brilliant day of competition here in Finsterau. Tomorrow it's all about the long distance cross-country skiing, but join us at 6 o'clock this evening for the victory ceremonies. Very good afternoon to you.